Right. So we got Alaurice here. Thank you, Alaurice, for taking the time for this interview. Glad to have
Course.
you here. Really appreciate that. So as we get started, if you don't mind giving the people who are watching this a little bit of context here, like what do you do? What type of professional are you? And what is your ultimate mission career-wise?
Well, I'm an attorney. I have my own law practice. I practice primarily criminal defense and personal injury. And I also am a real estate investor. Got two kids and, you know, just multi demands, lots of things going on.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. Like, what does your lifestyle look like? Schedule, because I know you have quite a bit of a busy schedule. You travel often. You know, you have like you said, your kiddos, side investments. So, what does your lifestyle overall look like?
It's pretty regimented. I mean, I have the weeks I have my kids, I'm kind of just a full-time mom with trying to take care of other things on the side, but they're basically my focus when I have them. And then the weeks that I don't, I'm fitting everything else in. I'm trying to do some social stuff and catch up on the work that I wasn't able to do the week that I have them.
Mhm.
Um, you know, focus on some other things. So like I'm a single person and on my own when I don't have them, and then I'm a full-time mom when I do.
Oh, yeah, that seems like a lot on your plate. Now, from being a full-time mom, a real estate investor, and having your law practice, you got into fitness. And just curious, if you don't mind sharing, where were you in your health and fitness journey before we started working together?
I've always been active. I've always worked out. I have a pretty good home gym.
Mm.
Had a gym membership, and I ate pretty healthy, but definitely room for improvement. I noticed that as I got older, I was getting more belly fat, even though my weight was staying the same. It
Yeah.
wasn't, changing to a huge degree. I was getting this middle area that I wasn't happy about.
Mm. So what were you doing before, like training wise, nutritionally?
Yeah, I would do cardio, usually run like half hour, maybe 40 minutes, and I would weight train, but definitely weight training was not, I just wouldn't give it, I think, the attention that it needed. So I'd work out weights maybe twice a week.
Mm. Mm. Okay. And now going back to what you were saying, like looking at your body composition, it was changing, but your weight was staying the same. What do you feel like were the biggest challenges that you were facing before the program? Like, what was it that didn't get you the physique that you wanted to attain, or the body composition that you wanted to achieve?
Lack of knowledge. I think I was getting information from too many sources.
Mm.
I didn't have a good understanding of nutrition and just how important protein is in your diet. I didn't really see how important weight training was to maintaining muscle and building muscle as you get older.
Mhm.
So I would say probably too much information, not being able to really concentrate on just one good source of information,
Mm.
especially for nutrition and eating, what to eat, that sort of thing.
Got it. Sounds like infobesity. We're getting fat in information and skinny and taking action. Yeah. No, I relate to that. When I first started, I was in the same spot. Like, oh, do this, eat that, keto, paleo, vegan, intermittent fasting, all these crazy concepts. We realize that it comes down to, energy balance and knowing how to manage that while we're training our body for hypertrophy, like you said. The older we get, the more focus we need on that. Um, so what do you feel that made you decide it was time to, start doing things a little differently and just perhaps getting some help in this area of your life? What was it that moment that made
Yeah.
you?
It was my boyfriend. My boyfriend had
Yeah.
hired a coach, and he had struggle. We both experimented with fasting and you know our eating habits and drinking and not drinking and that sort of thing. But it wasn't until he hired a coach that we saw a huge transformation.
Oh.
It was amazing. And so I would be asking him all the time, what are they telling you to do?
Mhm.
What are your workouts like? I was pestering him all the time for information and figured hiring a coach seemed to make sense for me
Got
as
it.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great boyfriend. To invest in. That's awesome. So, Alaurice, looking back at what you've tried before, you mentioned intermittent fasting, you mentioned a couple of diets. Um, Comparing that to what we teach in the Hybrid Method Academy and what you've learned so far, like what do you feel that it was different in the program that caused you to potentially succeed, if we can say that, or get that confidence at least back to be able to see that you can actually accomplish your goals and transform your body long term? What was it?
I think that several things. One is accountability,
Hmm.
having someone to answer to every week and, give updates on what I'm doing or what I'm not doing or what I'm struggling with. But also, what I really liked about the hybrid approach is it's very multi-dimensional. You guys hit our goals with so many different avenues or so many different ways that it's hard not to succeed. When we're learning about nutrition, when we're learning about hormones, when we're learning about all the other things that support being successful, like proper sleep habits, protein intake, workouts. It's it's that you teach us about so many different things that have an impact on whether we're successful or not. Like I never really connected the dots with sleep and how important that is to recovery, to curb cravings, to give us the energy to focus on proper nutrition. So like I knew it was important before, but when you through your trainings and through the courses that we've listened to, I just got to learn how important that really is to being successful, and then all the other things that we learned. Just multi-dimensional approach, I think, was really the difference. And the habits that we've learned over 6 months, um, having the accountability to install those habits really made them stick. So I feel like I have some really good habits now that I can take with me that will help me continue to make progress.
I love that. I love hearing that. And thank you for sharing that. It's something that really, uh, you know, gets us super excited about when we hear things like that, because ultimately, long-term success comes down to daily habits and what feels sustainable for you. Because adherence plays a huge role into um, someone's transformation. And when you say these things, I'm like, okay, she's up for long term success, and it's a great thing. Let's talk about what what are some of the biggest accomplishments or key learnings that you've got so far from being part of the Hybrid Method Academy? You mentioned the sleep, you mentioned learning about hormones. Is there anything else that really stood out for you?
Um, Tracking your progress, like how important that is to constantly look at the data and see what is working, what's not, it inspired me to create my own little tracking sheet. And
Yeah.
I really like look forward to filling it out, like how much water did I hit my numbers on water today? Did I hit my number on protein? Did I get the sleep, 7 hours or more sleep? And just seeing that in my calories. And then like at the end of the week, did I lose weight?
Mm.
If I didn't, then what can I focus on? So I think tracking has been really helpful, and I'm excited to continue the tracking. Um, I forgot your question now. So
Yeah, like what were your biggest accomplishments or key learnings you've
yeah,
got?
as far as accomplishments, I went from 30% body fat to 23%. So, I feel really good about that. I'm hoping to get down to 20. We'll see. But I mean, I like the way I look now. I can actually see ab definition, and never really thought that was possible. I see other women, they have a six pack, and I just think they must be at the gym godly hours,
Yeah,
godly hours every day, and fitness must be their life. But honestly, that's not the case. I mean, I work out 4 times a week, weight training, and I really pay attention to what I eat. And I think those two things have made a really big impact on my body fat percentage.
love
So,
it. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, habit wise, you mentioned there's some habits that you've been developing, and you mentioned self-monitoring and tracking your food and all that stuff. Besides that, what else do you feel like, what other habits have you been able to establish in your lifestyle that you're confident that will lead you to your long-term goals?
uh, tracking what I eat, really paying attention to what I'm consuming. Processed food, there's a lot of negative effects of processed food. I knew that processed food was not good, but I didn't really understand why.
Hmm.
And again, through your trainings, I've learned just really why processed food is not good. So I'm inspired every day to not eat, bagels, and I still eat my bread. I'm
Yeah.
never going to give bread up, but really, if I eat bread in the morning, I really try not to eat processed food the rest of the day. So like
Mhm.
limiting it, and definitely whole foods. That it takes a long time, I think, really, for a habit to really sink in.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
6 months of doing this, really, I just feel really good about these habits, and I feel like they're going to stick around for hopefully forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for anyone watching this, when it comes to, because, a lot of people ask this, oh, what's the thing with the processed foods and whole foods? And first of all, like when it comes to losing weight, you have to create a caloric deficit. And so I give this example all the time. You get a 100 grams of white bread versus 100 grams of white potato. 100 grams of white bread is roughly 200 something calories, whereas 100 grams of white potato is 87 calories. The same quantity, different density. So when we're getting into processed foods, it's obviously the caloric intake. When you're in caloric deficit, you're better off eating more whole foods so you can sustain that caloric deficit. Another thing is you can develop some metabolic issues down the road, but those always come as a result of gaining body fat. And so, again, it comes down to food density and all that stuff. Plus, when we add sugar, when we add all these additives, and we take out fiber from processed food, what happens? We get more cravings. We eat more food, right? And we don't know why. Why are we gaining weight? Well, that's why, because we're not feeling satiated. Processed food is extremely palatable, makes you eat more of it, and you don't feel like you're eating a lot either, right? And then it's loaded with calories. So it comes down to that. And thank you for sharing that, because you're one of our students who really got that down. And I feel like this needs to be repeated over and over again so people can finally understand this concept. And so my next question here, Alaurice, is, were there any new things that you were able to do, or new experiences in your life because of you making this progress with your body composition and developing your strength and all that?
Just feeling better in a swimsuit, feeling more confident, feeling proud of myself for, the muscle definition that I have earned over the 6 months. I would just say my confidence level has increased a lot. Yeah. But now that, I do want to start doing some more things like learning how to play tennis and going salsa dancing. I really enjoy dancing. So I feel, again, more confident in how I look. And, I'm excited to go do some of those things this year. It's on my list of stuff to do.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Salsa dancing. That sounds fun. I've never been a great dancer, but I'm inspired.
It's a good workout, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, lastly, what would you say to someone who's in the position you were in before you joined the program? Like busy, kind of hectic schedule, kids, they want to lose weight. They try some random things here and there. Like you said, infobesity, a lot of information, a lot of yo-yoing that comes with it. Yet, like they know they yo-yo, they lose a little bit of weight, gaining back and all that stuff. Yet they're on the fence when it comes to committing to seeking help and working with a coach, with a trainer, nutritionist, whatever that might be, because they want to keep waiting for that right time. What would you say to that person?
There's never going to be the right time. I mean, in our lives, we always have challenges. There's always going to be busier weeks than not. And if you wait for that perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. I think that just kind of the same with kids. Like, people think, oh, I can't have kids right now. I have to be, have to have this great job, and I have to be settled, and I have, again, there's never going to be that perfect time to have kids, and you're never going to be, super knowledgeable to the point where you feel confident that you could take care of kids either, so you just kind of got to take the leap. But I think that you do have to be committed to the attention that it's going to require. And, when you have someone that you're accountable to, I think it's easier to make that commitment. Because we're constantly being reminded every week, what did you do? What did you not do? What did you fail at? What do you need help with? Just like anything that you want to get good at, it takes effort and it takes attention. And so we can all concentrate on our job or our profession and really making that our focus, or your health, whatever it is. Though I think you have to recognize that it will take a commitment, it will take effort, and you can't just kind of do a half-assed job at it.
Oh, wow, I love that. Yes.
What you get out of it is going to be what you put into it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's you can't half-ass it, and you didn't hear that from me. So yeah. I mentioned before that was the last question. No, I have one more, and this is the last one, I promise. Okay. Who's the Hybrid Method Academy for, and who is not for, in your opinion, from your experience?
Gosh, I think it's got to be for someone who's open-minded, who's willing to learn, who's willing to kind of put their pride aside and say, I hired you for a reason, educate me, teach me everything you know, right? Versus, oh, okay, I'm going to go do this on my own, or checking in occasionally with you, it really, again, you get what you put into it. And I think that if someone is thinking, well, I'll see what they have to say, but I'm gonna probably keep doing my own thing, or
Yeah.
I already know what I need to know. I don't think maybe that the course is for them. So you have to be genuinely open to feedback, open to criticism, open to um, maybe recognizing that what you're doing is not working.
Yeah.
Could be better.
Straight to the point. Yeah. Well, Alaurice, I think this was really powerful. Thank you for taking time to share your experience and your wisdom with people watching this. And I wish you best of luck moving forward. And for those of you watching, this was Alaurice. Thank you guys for being here.